Lee Tung Foo was a Chinese-American vaudeville performer born in California who performed in English, German, and Latin. He became a film actor later in his life. At the age of 45, he ran a Chinese restaurant he bought in New York City called Young Sai Mandarin Restaurant. He opened a second restaurant, IMIG Sai, and both were strategically placed near Broadway. By the 1930s he returned to theater work, playing some minor roles until 1932, when he was cast as Wang Yun in the film, The Skull Murder Mystery. He continued with minor roles, being cast as the servant of the detective, Mr. Wong, in the 1939 film The Mystery of Mr. Wong. His last work was in The Manchurian Candidate, an uncredited role as a man in lobby, at the age of 87. Early life. Born in 1875 in Watsonville, California, Lee was a son of Chinese immigrants. Lee's parents had started a laundry and grocery business in Watsonville, but moved many times before finally settling in Ripon, California. In his youth, Lee had run away from home after growing pressure from his father to leave school and work full-time. Working as a servant, Lee was introduced to American music by his employers who had also encouraged him to go to school. A servant in the Oakland home of Zeno Move, a local music store owner, Lee was influenced by his wife May S. Move, who worked in the Chinese Presbyterian Mission. Lee joined the church and sang mission choir and played the piano and reed organ. Through the missionary, Lee was taken in by Margaret Blake Alverson, a well-known voice teacher in the San Francisco Bay Area, whom he worked with many years to hone his singing ability. Early career. Lee first came into the vaudeville stage in 1905, hoping to dismantle the racist attitudes that had been developing on the stage and in print media over the latter half of the 19th century. Lee performed in a manner that no other Chinese-American vaudevillians had done before. Lee fused yellowface, a caricature portrayal of Asians done by European-American actors, with singing operatic and popular songs, doing ethnic impersonations, and exchanging comedic patter. By combining what the general public were familiar with, yellowface, and using his musical and comedic talent, Lee quickly gained recognition. His singing performance left many thinking that it was remarkable a Chinese man could sing this well. Lee broke the stereotype that Chinese musical ability were limited and inferior and became the forefront of Chinese Americans performing in American popular culture, touring an act. At the height of his career, Lee toured vaudeville theaters from United States, Canada, and Europe, most notably Great Britain and Belgium. In these 14 years of touring, Lee's vaudeville acts mainly consisted of singing operatic and popular songs, as well as caricature acting of the Irish, Scottish, and Chinese. Lee's most famous sets were of mocking stereotypes of Chinese immigrants and Scottish caricatures which he based on Harry Lauder's character, Highlander. Lee trained for various songs to implement in his routine. Many of the songs he trained were considered challenging and difficult to sing, such as Pro Peccatus Sua Gentis from Gioacchino Rossini's Stabat Mater and Carl Bohm's Still We Dine Act. His light operatic work were also challenging, such as The Watcher, The Holy City, and Thora. Lee also performed many popular acts such as numbers from Tin Pan Alley and My Own United States, a song from a Civil War-themed musical, When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Acting in Hollywood. By the 1920s, Lee stopped performing in vaudeville and had worked in his restaurant in New York City. Lee was also married in 1918 and had family commitments to withhold. Lee moved back to Los Angeles and started acting in films as talkies became very popular. Lee played minor roles that were often stereotypical of Asians. In at least 39 films, Lee's roles were of the immigrant workers, cooks, servants, waiters, and laundrymen. Some of Lee's most notable appearances are in They Knew What They Wanted and Phantom of Chinatown as Foo. He also appeared in an episode of The Lone Ranger 1950 filmography. The General died at dawn 1936. Top of the Town 1937, Waikiki Wedding 1937, Change of Heart 1938, Mr. Wong, Detective 1938, Barricade 1939, Mr. Wong in Chinatown 1939, Stand Up and Fight 1939, Flight Command 1940, Phantom of Chinatown 1940, Phantom Raiders 1940, They Knew What They Wanted, Dance Girl Dance 1940, Across the Pacific 1942, Laura 1944, Caribou Trail 1950,